In 2021, the legendary Jeep Wagoneer made its comeback after a long absence, carrying big expectations to help Jeep reclaim its legacy, but things didn't go as planned. Users quickly pointed out issues. Brand new vehicles were already showing problems, from water leaks to unstable performance. Disappointment spread fast, with many customers calling it the worst experience of their lives. Despite price cuts, the high sticker price made buyers feel misled. That raised a serious question. How did a brand once seen as a symbol of American automotive pride end up like this? The answer goes beyond just the Wagoneer or the Jeep name. It's rooted in the controversial management strategies of Stellantis, the multinational auto group behind many big brands. Under Stellantis, Jeep seems to be losing its original identity and the quality it was once known for. And the promises that followed Jeep has long stood as an iconic symbol of American durability since 1941. But 2021 marked a turning point when the brand became part of Stellantis, formed through the merger of Fiat, Chrysler Automobiles, and France's PSA Group. Under the Stellantis umbrella, a diverse lineup of US, Italian, and French brands came together, though each still struggled to fully realize its potential. The launch of the new Wagoneer seemed like just another product release, but it actually signaled something much bigger, a shift in how Jeep was evolving after the merger, from its design materials to its management philosophy. One loyal customer had high hopes that the 2022 Wagoneer would surpass his old Grand Cherokee, but the reality was disappointing. Key components that were once stamped steel had been replaced by plastic, and that feeling wasn't limited to buyers. A factory worker with 31 years at the FCA Warren stamping plant also noticed the change. After Stellantis took over, budgets were slashed and profit became the central focus. It wasn't just about cheaper materials. The entire spirit of craftsmanship began to shift. Where pride and quality once came first, economic efficiency was now driving production. The cut-at-all-costs philosophy Carlos Tavares, the man at the helm of Stellantis, was once the right hand of Carlos Ghosn, the former Renault CEO known for his aggressive cost-cutting and his dramatic escape from Japan that shocked the world. Learning from Ghosn's playbook, Tavares quickly earned a reputation for reviving struggling brands and delivering returns to shareholders. From the moment he took over Stellantis, he made it clear the company would run efficiently, no matter the cost. He insisted that cost-cutting was no longer taboo, as consumers now needed more affordable products. Stellantis began by overhauling its factories. Time motion studies were rolled out to streamline production and reduce the number of workers per task. The result? Around 400 temporary workers were let go across several plants, and staffing dropped from nearly 1,000 to under 600. In just 3 years, the group downsized by over 40,000 employees worldwide. In the US, the decision to shut down the long-running Belvidere assembly plant sent shockwaves through the local community, impacting shops, gas stations, and nearby support services. A similar situation played out at Warren Truck, where the workforce producing the Wagoneer was cut by nearly half since 2022. While thousands lost their jobs and entire neighborhoods struggled to stay afloat, the company's financial results delighted investors. Yet, somewhere between financial success and the sacrifice of core values, a bigger question remains unanswered. What is the true cost of efficiency? Quality in decline. Amid ongoing turmoil in the auto industry, Stellantis continued to post massive profits, thanks largely to aggressive cost-cutting measures. In 2023, the group reported a staggering $18 billion in profits and paid out $7 billion in dividends, up more than 50% from the previous year. At the same time, CEO Carlos Tavares earned close to $40 million, hundreds of times more than the average employee's salary, making him the second highest paid auto CEO, right behind Elon Musk. Meanwhile, Jeep prices skyrocketed. Once known as an affordable brand, by 2024, Jeep models were priced more than $6,000 above the market average. That high price strategy worked during the pandemic when inventory was low. But once things normalized, consumer interest started to fade. Ram vehicles piled up in inventory, some sitting unsold for over 140 days, according to internal charts. Buyers struggled to justify paying inflated prices for vehicles that were once seen as budget-friendly. The widening gap between cost and quality only added more tension to the market. Even high-end models like the Grand Cherokee and Wagoneer have been plagued by issues: rapid tyre wear, unresponsive infotainment systems, strange noises, and shaky steering. These problems shook consumer confidence. Many customers felt deceived by a brand that tried to project a premium image but delivered underwhelming products. Even workers admitted that cheaper materials were being used, making brand new cars look and feel like used ones. But the story goes beyond disappointed buyers. The people building these vehicles also began speaking out. They saw firsthand the decline in standards and a fading sense of pride in their craft. The growing dissatisfaction signals a deeper conflict, one that's not just about workers' rights, but about restoring the trust of consumers who feel they've been let down, voices from the workforce, and rising uncertainty. In 2023, the United Auto Workers UAW union, representing employees at Ford, General Motors and Stellantis, launched a prolonged strike demanding better working conditions. The strike led to some significant outcomes, including a commitment from Stellantis to revive the Belvidere assembly plant. At first, this created hope that the company would begin prioritizing workers over cost-cutting, but the reality proved far more complicated. Despite previously announcing an $18 billion investment in the facility, Stellantis later withdrew, citing market volatility. While Ford and GM saw stable growth, Stellantis struggled with declining sales. Even so, the company spent $2 billion on stock buybacks and continued layoffs. At the Warren truck plant, 1,200 jobs were cut, and another 2,500 are at risk as production of one vehicle is moved to Mexico. Stellantis' expansion into Mexico has raised concerns that the company is slowly shifting away from the US. In that climate, workers have grown increasingly anxious about their job security. One employee even questioned whether automakers still prioritize American labor. The issue has reached the political stage, with growing calls to impose higher taxes on vehicles manufactured abroad. At the end of 2024, Stellantis made headlines again when CEO Carlos Tavares stepped down. The company gave only a brief explanation, a difference in vision, but his departure, he was seen as the chief architect of Stellantis' cost-cutting strategy, sparked speculation about a possible shift in leadership direction. Observers are now asking, is this the beginning of a more people-centered approach for Stellantis, or just the early signs of a larger restructuring? With the North American market weakening and internal tensions mounting, the company faces a critical juncture. Either take bold steps to rebuild its position or risk sacrificing even more just to stay afloat. Which path forward? Stellantis is under growing pressure to get its North American operations back on track. But this isn't just about cutting costs, it requires bold investment decisions. Choosing to invest rather than scale back would mark a major shift in how the company operates. Ford has taken similar risks, pouring time and resources into affordable EVs and third-generation vehicle platforms. While the results are still uncertain, a successful outcome could bring long-term rewards. As the auto industry evolves, many American consumers continue to value domestically made products, seeing it as a way to protect jobs. Jeep buyers in particular have voiced that local manufacturing still matters. At the same time, workers are calling on Stellantis to commit and invest in them, believing that doing so would benefit both the company and the people who build its vehicles. It all comes down to one big question. Is Stellantis ready to change course, raise product standards, and rebuild trust among both customers and workers? The future of the company, and of brands like Jeep, will depend on that very choice. The challenges remain, but with enough courage, there's still a chance to turn things around. Thank you for staying with us until the end of the video. If you found this content helpful, support our team by exploring more videos on the channel. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one.